Well, hello everyone. Pastor Ian, the Krabby Crafter here, and I am so excited to finally have the August Simon Says Stamp card kit made to flourish. A lot of awesome stuff in this kit, and what I want to do is focus on the Colorize. I'm going to make a video just for this, and then we're going to go back and, of course, make another video making cards and stuff. What I do is I take everything out of the plastic package it came in, pull this out, and then I just insert this into all of my sleeves. So I keep these just because, just to have them for information purposes. But what I want to do is we're going to actually make a video, and I'm going to show you how I do my Colorized dies. I used to be able to print off sheets, but there's some still out there. They're hard to find. But basically now, you're kind of on your own with this. So what I do is I pull these out and I layer them out. You've got your flower pieces. That's the pink one. That's pink two. They're kind of falling in order here so far. Let's see. I think that's going to be part of the flower. Yep, that's pink three. All right. So I'm just layering these. I'm gonna go ahead and put that kind of up there where it'll be you can kind of see it. And see, let's see, these are leaves A, green 2. So there's leaves are A and B. I believe there might be C. Let's see. All right, buds, yellow 1. Let's see, those are buds, leaves A, green 1. So this is green 1, green 2. So all I'm doing is I'm just putting these in order. Leaves B, green 2. All right, and then let's see, that's going to be leaves B, black. All right, so leaves B black, green 2, because there's another green leaf in here. Let me see. Yep, there it is, leaves B, green 1. All right, so I can go ahead and flip these over now because there's 3 of those. And you can already kind of see when you flip them over what you're going to get when you cut them out, how they're going to lay over each other. The die is really, you can almost see it to me. So, so these are just the... let's see, leaves A, green 1, and leaves A, green 2. And let me see what we've got here. Those are leaves B, okay? So we're gonna put those down there. And let's see, we're just trying to kind of put all this together. Here we go. Leaves A, brown, okay? So that's your leaves A, brown. So you've got this, and then all these pieces are gonna go on top of that, and then these are gonna go on top of that. So you've got 3 layers there. And then this should be another buds green. So this is buds green, and this is buds yellow. So these are for your buds. And let's see what we've got here. Buds yellow 2. All right, and then this is flower pink. So that's flower pink 4. So we got another little tiny piece for the flower there. And let's see what we've got here. Flower yellow, so there's a yellow piece, some yellow for the flower, and then there's a little brown for the flower, one little piece there for the flower. And let's see, this is flower pink 5. So that's, wow. So, okay, we got a lot going on with the flower there. And then this should be another, this is flower brown. So, yeah, so that's part of the flower. All right, so what I'm going to do, and I know it looks confusing, boy, if you've ever got one of these, if you're new to this, if you've been doing it, you already know, whoa, it can be overwhelming. But if you're new to this, then it's definitely going to be overwhelming. But it's not that hard. And if you go online, you'll see they do have the Colorize. The Sizzix has it on their YouTube channel. You can walk through it, just solid colors. The 4 pinks, the green, and I think the brown, the 2 greens. This just cut this out, and there's 1 set of leaves. You're going to cut this will go on this, and then this will be your filler. So you've got 3 colors there. You've got 3 colors here. It's interesting that this one is black. I think is this the black one? Yeah, leaves B black. So really the only thing you're going to see is going to be the stalk part, because all this is actually going to cover over that. So those little stalks will show up. And then this will go over it. And I think we said this was green. Yep, green 1 and green 2. So you have black, you have a lighter green, then you have a darker green. On this one you have brown, and then you have a lighter green and a darker green. Did we go? Yeah, it is green. Green 1 and green 2. And then on this one you also have green 1 and green 2. So it's, you could really cut these out at the same time from your shades of green, green 1 and green 2, even though they're for a different set of flowers. So, but for me, because I don't want to confuse what goes away, and it's hard. Well, with one like this, you're not going to confuse it. You're going to know these round leaves, they're not going to go on this one. These leaves are going to go on this one. So I could cut these out at the same time, out of that lighter shade of green, the darker shade of the green. I know that this goes on this and goes on this. Dark to light to the base, dark to light to the base. If that's not making sense, it will when we're done. But what we're going to do on this project is we're going to use the wonderful watercolor paper that came with the kit. And we're going to use some other watercolor paper from my stash. And what I like to do is I like to color my own. I don't like the solid black, solid green, solid. So if you look at this, you'll see, you know, that solid light brown, that, or pink. It's a shade of pink. It's funny. It actually says pink 1 on the back. I would not consider that a shade of pink, but sure, okay. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces that go into making the flower. And you've got pink, 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 and pink, just different shades of pink. I'm not a fan of that. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to take a piece of cardstock and we're gonna make multicolored pink. And then when you layer it all together, it just kind of, all the colors, you've got highs and lows and shadings, and it just makes the whole thing really, really look unique. The only thing that I won't do in pink will be those 2 pieces there, because I think this one is black or brown and that one's yellow. We'll do those in a different color as well. And then there's a couple little tiny little pieces. You can see that little tiny piece right there. That's these right here. These 2 pieces right there. And what color were those again? Let's see if we can see. These are, it says pink, so sure. Let's go with that. I'm not seeing pink. I'm seeing, that's the only pink I see. Everything else is like a shade of brown, but you know. And then, like I say, we've got this little piece here. I've already forgot what the colors were. So that's the yellow. So this little funny looking kind of, that's the yellow piece. It's going to go right there. And then that, and it's over that piece right there. But it'll all make sense as we go through. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to get some colored, I'm going to get our paper, and we're actually going to have several pieces of paper, because we're going to have one we're going to do in green, one we're going to do in brown. We're going to do black. I may just do straight black cardstock, because it's the only one that's black is this one right here. I think there was one other black, smaller piece. But this is brown, so we'll do shades of brown, and then we'll do the greens. We'll do those in shades. And other than that, what color were these? Were these yellows? Yeah, these yellows, these yellow buds, these right here. That's these up here. I'll also shade those as well. So that being said, I'm going to get everything together. We're going to come back and we're going to work on this. We're going to work on the Colorize bloom. And the neat thing about this is this technique will work on any of your colorized dyes. In fact, if I remember, when I'm editing it, I will post a link to the Colorize video I did on Skelly. Skelly is one of my favorite dyes. When I started making him, I fell in love with him, made a whole bunch of him, and haven't done him in a while, so we may have to go back and do that again. But for now, I'm going to get everything ready, and we'll come back and we'll make a little flower, make some blooms. We'll have fun with the bloom Colorize. All right, so I got my splat box ready. I got my distress spray stains. I'm going to use stains. I don't want to use oxides. I could use the oxides. I may go grab them. I just made a quick list. I need dark green, mixed green, brown, dark brown. I need a dark pink and some light pink, and then yellows, mostly light, but some dark, just a little bit. And what I may wind up doing is just the dark green and the dark brown. I may just cut that out of just the solid textured paper, because it's such a small amount. But for the larger pieces, for the leaves, the overlays, the ones that are going to go on top, that's where I want my color and my texture. So we're just going to start with just a piece of watercolor cardstock, and I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the pink dark and pink light. We're going to go pink light. I'm going to start with my Kitsch Flamingo here, and what I like to do is wet my paper, and then we're going to hit it with some Kitsch Flamingo. And then we'll come in with, I think, maybe just a little saltwater taffy. All right, and we're going to hit that with some water. And where are my little tongs? Here we go. Well, I'll just use my hand, and we're just going to kind of get some movement there and grab my little Ranger heat tool and just get the water moving around, and we're going to dry that up. We want the spots, we want the color, we want that movement, we want the colors kind of running together and mixing together. And we're gonna spray this again. I like when you're turning it, you know, you kind of get these veins created on the paper. And what happens is when you turn it, you know, the ink, it runs into its safe spot, if you will. Kind of runs back to where it's already laid itself out into a little bit of a pattern. So we're just trying to dry that up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfectly dry. Dry that up. Paper's looking good. You can see the paper starting to flatten out. And that's actually going to be good enough for now. So I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of that Kitsch Flamingo. And a little bit more of, let's see, what did I use? Kitsch Flamingo. Yeah, a little of that saltwater taffy. And we're going to hit that with the drying tool. Not a lot of water right now because I want some of that splatter. So I am adding a little bit of water to get some spots to kind of start developing. And go back in with some more of this Kitsch Flamingo. Yeah, there we go. Get some drops in there. And then we'll add a little bit of water. So this is new to me. Again, I think I said it in one of my other videos. You know, spraying and working with the backgrounds, trying to get what you want from the background. It's a little bit different. And I am trying to build up a few spots here. I want to get, because when we cut out the dye and the deck, you know, we want to have that kind of that texture to it, but not too many, you know, big blotchy spots. So we're actually going to hit this, trying to move that a little bit around there, let that run down. And if you got spots that just too much, just tap it with your paper towel. Yeah, this is looking good. This one's looking pretty good. So I think we're gonna stop with this one. Got a little white space on the edge there. So we're gonna hit that with, I want a little bit, yeah, I want to stay with the light. Yeah, we're gonna hit that with a little bit more of the saltwater taffy. And just let that kind of run in there. Nice buildup of color and texture here. And this is going to be, I think it's going to be my lighter pinks. I'm not really going with a darker pink. I'm going to kind of go with, because I don't really have that. I'm going to have to go grab my oxides just to see what we get. And so that's drying nicely. Let me run over and grab my oxides because I may want to do one and just to see what kind of a difference we get. All right, we'll let the rest of that air dry. Looks nice. Look at that. It's beautiful colors in there. So when we cut that out, and of course it'll dry a little more, then you'll get the little shades and stuff like that. In places where we've got some white, we can go in there with some ink, and I may actually do that. I may go back over that, but let me go grab my oxides. All right, so I got my oxides over here, and I don't know how, it may be too dark, but we're gonna play with one. We're gonna play with one. I've got, we're gonna grab the, we had already used, we used Kitsch Flamingo and we used saltwater taffy. I've got, I'm gonna use picked raspberry. I'm gonna use this picked raspberry and spun sugar. I like those. Let's see what kind of a mix we get out of these two. All right, so hit the card with some water because I want that movement. And we'll come in with, oh yeah, oh that's nice. Nice, nice, nice. And then we'll hit it with some spun sugar. Yep, there we go. And then we're gonna start drying. I actually don't, yeah, I do want a little bit of, I don't know, I kind of like the spots on that. I'll come back in over here with some more. There we go. Let's get a little movement. So this is actually going to wind up, I think, being the lighter pink. I'll let this dry real good. I love how those colors begin to come out as it dries. Paper curls, and then as it dries, it lays back flat again. It's one of the neatest things about card making. When I first started doing this, I didn't understand that concept. My paper would curl up and I'd get mad, kind of walk away and be like, oh, I'll come back and try again later. And when I come back, it would be laying flat because it was dry. So we're gonna add a little bit of, I really like this picked raspberry. Let me see, I think we're gonna, yeah, get some of that down in there. And just a couple little drops of water just to try and get some. Start adding some texture, so we're just spritzing a little bit of water on it to get spots to develop. There we go. This is looking really good. I like that. We're going to let that sit. That's good. That one's good. So I think I've got my two pinks done. I think I like these. Maybe it'd be interesting when we start putting this together. We might get a little bit of a interesting mix. We'll see. We'll see. Because I'm looking through my oxides and I don't see any greens. Yeah, I think we're going to have to grab. I don't see anything. Well, I've got Rustic Wilderness in the spray and Twisted Citron. Let's see what we get here with the Distress Oxide. So I like that. And I'm going to put a little, I don't know what I want to add to it. I'm going to add a little bit of iced spruce. And then we're going to spray that just to get some color in there. And you don't even have to use separate colors. You can just do one color and layer. And so I think I may wind up doing that. So let's move this. Let's get some good movement going on this paper here. Yeah, that ice spruce is going to give me that nice, nice dark color, dark texture in some places on the leaves. So while it's moving around, let's grab our drying tool, because I like these veins that are starting to appear. I'm going to keep moving it back and forth because I don't want the veins to run away. I actually want that texture in my paper. Oh wow. Yeah, this will tell you, we're going to have to hit this again with a little more. That's a lot lighter green than I want. So we'll hit this with something. We'll do something with it. It's bringing that blue out way, way too much. So I think I'm gonna go, I don't know how this is gonna work. Let's find out. Let's add that rustic wilderness. Now that I like. And the inks, they won't really, they'll sit a little bit on top of the oxides. The oxides do tend to, got that too dark. The oxides do drown out your inks. We've got a lot going on in the middle there. So we're gonna, let's let this one dry, and then I'm gonna take a look at it and see what I need to do. Colors are not coming out quite the way I had hoped. So we might just go with an inked background. But I do like I do like the spottiness of it. It's just way too much yellow and blue undertones coming out from the mix of the inks and oxides there and the colors that I went with. So let's get that down there. And you can see that green gets lost. It darkened it up, but it got lost under the oxide. I really need rustic wilderness and an oxide. And I don't have any. I don't have any. So let's see. That's way too much yellow coming through from that twisted citron. Way too much yellow. Which would work for a leaf. I guess there are some. Yeah. I'm not opposed to this. We may just stick with this just to see what we get. I'm trying to decide. Do I want to add? I'm trying to remember what my peeled paint looks like. I'm just trying to get a little that's way too much. Oh yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it's going to bring out some interesting colors. Getting a lot of good movement there. Okay, that's good. That's lightening up something. Oh, that blue coming through. Goodness gracious. Well, I've got it way more saturated than I wanted. It's coming out more blues than greens. Those colors did not work well together. So I think what we're going to do now to try and salvage this is see if we can't lift some of that off. Let's get some spots going in here. Get some texture. I'm drying too fast. I got to give it a second to. Paper's warm, so the water's just kind of evaporating on the surface. So that could be a very interesting shade of leaves there. We could go with that. Now on camera it's showing up more blue even than it is in person, but as that dries, I'm not opposed to that, but that's not quite what I was going for. So I think we're going to have to ink a background. We're going to have to break out my cubes and I can do an inky background, and then we can work on that. But I do like these. I do like these for the flower. These are going to be really nice. We'll work with those. Oh, I like that squeezed lemonade. I like that. Actually like that a lot. And then we'll hit the all right. So let's go ahead and dry this some so we can make some layers before our colors start running together too much. Boy, I like that. I really like that squeezed lemonade. That's a nice yellow. Get a little movement on this side over here. Cover up that white space. There we go. I know Tim says, it doesn't have to be completely dry, but we definitely want it drier. I don't want to get some of these drops. So I'm trying to just kind of gently squeeze and move some of that. I need a little bit more movement, just a little bit, to get that yellow to sit on there and move and give me just a little bit more movement and color. Oh yeah, now we're getting, now we're getting that good, the layers there. We're getting some good layers there. It's blending. So I'm gonna let that dry. I want just a little bit more. I think I want just a little bit more of that mustard seed. I think I like that mustard seed. So I think I want just a little bit. Yep, just a little, just a few spots, just like that. And I don't want to add water. I don't want to do anything else to them. I want to let that dry. So let's see what we've got here. Make sure I'm not putting my sprays back in with my oxides. Yeah, I like that. So we're just going to go ahead and dry that. And then we're going to put a few little drops of water on it. That paper gets warm. Just a couple of, just some splatters. Just like that. Let that sit for a second. Let it oxidize, let it do its thing. Dab some of it up. So I really don't want to lift any color off. Oh, I like that. Just a few more drops over here. It really is starting to bring out those tones nicely. All right, so we've got our green dark. Let's see, green. We're just going to use green. I'm going to use that. This is not even, I don't think that's going to pass off as a leaf at all. So I need to go, I'm going to ink a background. We'll use this for something else. So I do have one more that I want to work on before I go grab my cubes. I'm going to moisten that. I'm going to go back. I just want to do just rustic wilderness. I want just rustic wilderness. And I want to go with a spotty background. So I'm going to kind of let that sit for a second. I'm going to add a little bit of drops of water. And we're just going to do a background that's just rustic wilderness. And we're going to try and layer it. And I think, let's just go ahead and get some movement. Yeah, I love that shade of green. Let's go ahead and get some good movement on this one. And let's just do one that's just the rustic wilderness. Let's see what we wind up with when it's all said and done. And while that's moving around, we're going to dry. Now I'm going to go back because I want that a little darker, and I do want the spots, and we're going to just, and we're going to let that be, we're going to let it be what it is. Just a little bit of water. And we're not going to do anything other than that. Tap up some of those spots where they're just a little bit darker than I want them. But I actually want to leave a few because I want to see what it's going to look like once it's dry. I think we're going to be fine. Get a little. So I'm going to let that one air dry and we'll come back. All right, so we've got all our cards here. We've got our yellow. This is the green. Got some good dark green in there. Went back over that with that rustic wilderness, and so that just looks really good. Added a little crackling, or I can't remember if it was lumberjack plaid maybe. I can't remember. Yeah, lumberjack plaid, and it kind of helped to bring out some darker spots in that pink. So we got these two for the pinks, and then this one, which I may wind up using. It's kind of, on camera, it looks bluer than it actually is in person. But we're going to use that, I think, for maybe that. And then I do have a kind of a brown and a green, two shades. I'm going to use these for a couple of the smaller pieces. So we're going to go ahead and grab our die cut machine, and we're going to cut out some pieces. All right, so I got my die cutting machine here, and I took all the pieces. We just put them onto a piece of magnetic sheet for now. I got my pinks, greens, different colors here, yellows, greens, pinks, and then the yellows and the browns. So I got all the different pieces here. This is the background piece for the brown, and I am going to go ahead and cut this out, and I'm actually going to run it through twice because we're going to cut out two of those. There's also a smaller brown piece. So this little piece that's part of the flower, I'm going to go ahead and use that. We're going to go ahead and cut that out. And I think this one's yellow. Yeah, that's yellow. And let me double check this piece right here, this is brown also, but I actually don't want the same color brown. So we're gonna do something a little bit different with that. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it out just because. We'll just make this first one easy. All right, and unfortunately, I've got my magnetic platform. And the magnets, I hate magnetic platforms when they're not a solid magnet, because it does that. You see what it does there with it wants to grab and shift and move everything, and I hate that. So let's put this back over here. Just flipped it over. You just flip your platform over if you do have a magnetic platform. I actually have a magnetic magic mat, which would work just fine as well. But I don't use it a lot because that's actually a solid magnet. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut out this brown. I'll just run that right through, and then run it back through. And, yep, okay. What do I need? There they go. I'll just grab my tweezers just in case. All right, so set that there. Let's pull that up. So there's going to be that one. All right, so the two smaller pieces stayed into the pad, but that's okay, because when we pick it up, they'll come right off. All right, so you don't want to lose these little guys. I'm going to put them right there on top of the white mat where I can see them. And I'm going to go ahead and use those just because it's easier. And you can ink that up too to help. But what I am going to do is I'm going to run one more of these, because we're probably going to make a couple of these. So pull this out. Well, that's very delicate. Let me see if I can do this without. There we go. There we go. And that's your base piece. That's going to be one of your base pieces right there. So let's go ahead and put that there. But I do want another one of those. So let's just go ahead and, I got like a darker brown, but that's going to work for this. All right, pop that out again. I should be using my, I should just use my poker here. There we go. Now we can pull it right out of there. I'm going to pop that over there. So we got two of those ready to go. All right, so we'll set that aside. And so I don't lose my pieces, I'm going to put this, I'm just going to put that back onto the mat. I'm going to throw that back there. I got these two tiny pieces. We're going to put these back on the mat. We'll come back and use those again later. And now what I want to do is, because I do want that shaded, here we go. So I'm going to use, I'm not going to use that one. I'm not going to use that one. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to work on those greens. And we're going to use this piece here. And just bend your paper. If your paper's kind of still curled up, just bend it, straighten it out. I'm going to come over here, and we've got these greens. Leaves green there. And we've got this one, which is also green. I'm going to pop that there. And these are also green as well. So I'm just kind of looking for where I've got spots and colors, and just, we're gonna let the leaves, just gonna let the paper give us our creativity and dimension and all that. Now this is the one that's supposed to be done in black. So I need to grab a piece of black cardstock, because I do want to go ahead and do that in black. I wasn't going to, but I changed my mind. So we'll set that aside. I think, let's see, these buds are also in green. So I'm just doing anything that's green is going on the green cardstock. And let me see if these are green or yellow. Yellow, yellow, those are my yellows. All right, that should be all my greens. So we're gonna go ahead and run that through. And that one actually popped up on me, so I may have to redo that one. So we got that. And we'll pull this out. Let's pull all these out of the way. And let's see what we've got here. There we go. All these little pieces that are popping out. All right. We come over here and you just pop out those pieces and they come right out. And I'm actually going to go ahead and see, you can see them a little bit better if we drop them over here on the white. And let me just hold up one. So you look at that color. I mean, that to me looks like a leaf. You've got the coloring, you've got the green, you've got all that shading. That nice natural shading in the leaf. These actual little pieces here need to pop out, so I'm going to pull those out. Those are just the extra scrap pieces because these are going to layer over. But you got this really nice natural shading. Let me look at this one. I think there's one in here too. Yep. Let's see, that has to pop out. Or does it? No, it doesn't pop out. So sometime, now this is what you want to watch for. So you'll see on the back, there's no cut. So that's how I know this doesn't pop out. But that indentation there, that lets me know that another piece is going to go on top of it. Another piece is going to go on top of that or around it. So actually, and I don't know if it's this one. Yeah. So basically you see that oval, it's really, you can't see it on, but there's an oval there. And it's the same as this oval. So that's how you know this piece is actually going to go on top of that piece. And then look at that. You've got the dimension and you've got your shades of green there. So the dies really, you know, they do the work for you. They really do. So this one also has a little groove there, but that doesn't pop out. And then this one, let's see, this one also has the little groove, so it doesn't pop out. So you're going to line those up. You're going to line those up. So we're going to set these little pieces up. So we got to keep popping stuff out here. All right, so this one, and you can kind of see it, that, you know, which one lines up. You can tell when you lay them over each other. They'll either fit or they won't fit. Thankfully, they didn't do, and you can see because the back's cut out on that one, that this one actually pops out. See? So the die cut through it. When it doesn't cut through it, that's just your mark to let you know how to stack these up. And I do love that about the colorized dies. All right. See if we can pop this one out. I'm afraid that one didn't cut all the way through. Well, no, it looks like it did. Never mind. Or did it? Sometimes, depending on the paper you're using and what you're trying to do, the die doesn't want to cut all the way through. And that's why I run mine through twice. And I think because I'm using a heavier cardstock here, a heavier watercolor cardstock here, what I should have done was used a shim, but I didn't do that. And I got just one little piece that does not want to cooperate. So we're gonna make it cooperate. And there we go. And there's your bottom piece, and that little piece right there will pop out. All right, and there's your bottom piece for those buds. So we're gonna put those over there. And we're gonna pop all the rest of these out, and then we'll come back and then we'll show you how they all go together. All right, so I got all my green cut out and laid out. Some of it's off camera. We maximized that beautiful paper, got everything out of there that we could. maybe a few little other pieces, but not really much there. I'm going to keep that just in case I need a small piece. We'll set it off to the side. Now what we're going to go to work on is we're going to go to work on our yellows. And so we're going to get our little buds. Anything that says yellow is going to go onto that. And we got this little tiny, got that little tiny one that's going to go in the middle. There's not a lot of yellow. So that's all green, 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 green. Those are all pinks. And those were browns, and that's it. So for yellow, it's just those 3 little dies. So we're actually gonna run those through twice because we got a couple, like I said, we're actually making 2. Actually gonna make 2 of these. Then we'll go back through after we've done our yellow, and we'll do our pinks. And this is heavier paper, so I'm actually running it through a couple of times just to make sure I get a good impression. Just want to make sure that these actually push all the way through, and it looks like they did. And I just hit my light button there. Let's try that again. There we go. Just accidentally changed the mood lighting here. So those are all cut through nicely. So we can just start poking those out. Okay, and then we're going to get all these pieces and we're going to set them over here. Set them over here by those little tiny brown pieces as well. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to do not lose. I think that's an actual piece. We're going to set it there just in case. I can't remember. I know these are. So we're going to put those there. And again, we've got one here that has the little cutout backgrounds, which lets me know I need to poke those out. So I'm going to poke out those 2 little pieces. And we're going to set that over there. And pull this out of the way. Grab my tool here so I can get these last couple little pieces out. There we go. And so this one, I'm gonna have to use my tweezers because there's a couple tiny little pieces need to come out. And all you do is I just poke them out. Set that over there. This one's super small too. And what I do, if you have a hard time, I do the poke and lift. And when you do that, it just leaves your little piece down there. And then I just flick those off. A lot of cleanup when we're done. A lot of little tiny pieces of paper to go round up. All right, we're making 2, so let's just throw these up here. And one more time through with the yellow. I'll do that off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll do our pinks. All right, I forgot to restart my camera, but we're actually running the pink through now. And I'm using the 2 different sheets. They're slightly different in colors. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix and match just to kind of show you how, just to give us an idea of how this works. So those came right off. Now this one here, this one right here, and it'll actually, I think it says pink number 1, flower pink. This is your base, all right? And it's gonna cut out a solid piece with grooves to help you know how to layer the rest of it. So I'm gonna do one lighter and one darker. And with the lighter base, I'll put all the darker on top. And with the darker base, I'll put the lighter ones on top. So that's basically the goal that I'm going for here. So we're gonna go ahead and get all my metal pieces off, get my dies off, make sure nothing's stuck in there. And then we're just gonna pop all these pieces out. I will say too, and we put a lot of ink on this last night and it's been drying. When you do a background like this, make sure that it's good and dry. If the paper is wet, then that will also restrict your cutting ability, okay? Now, I'm gonna show you this. These little pieces, you wanna keep all these. Don't think that's a scrap piece. If you're not sure if something is scrap, keep it until you're done. And if you miss a piece with these colorized dies, sometimes it it actually doesn't matter. I mean, you don't notice it. All right. So these are all cut out. So let's set this off to the side. So we're gonna set that aside. But this is the main piece, and you got all those little grooves in it. There we go. That's gonna show you how to layer this piece, okay? And so you gotta look at it and figure it out. And oh, there it is, okay. And I'm using, well, I dropped it. I'm using this big round part here as once I found that on the die, now I know that this goes just like that. And when you glue it down, you just line it up with your grooves. And that's how you do a colorized die. All right, there we go. There we go. And we'll glue that down. So that's how that one's gonna work, okay? But I'm gonna set these pieces off to the side. All of these are pieces that need to be kept, and they'll go on where the groove goes. You'll just do them step by. And these little tiny pieces, those are going to be the last ones that are going to go on. Now be careful, because they'll take off on you. They'll go flying across the craft room. All right, so we've got that. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use this paper because the colors are slightly different, and we're gonna, hopefully that will just, when we go to stack it up and we go to put our flowers together, this is going to give us just a little bit of a different look, a couple different pieces, and you can mix and match. Okay. All right, so we've got everything laid out and ready to go here. We're going to start gluing pieces together. Now the way I do it is I like to lay it out, and then that way I know everything that's getting used is getting used on the base part. We've got some pieces over here that are also going to be a part of the flower, so we'll get to those in a minute. But they're up there, kind of off camera. But this is super easy to put together, and if you lay it out and just kind of you just have to line it up. Now what I'm doing is, there's an indentation for this little bubble part right here, and all I'm doing is I'm lining it up. And then once you line it up, you can see all the other indentations. So you just turn it till you get it lined up. So when you're gluing these pieces down, it's just a matter of laying them over, the marks on the bottom piece. That's one of the things I do like about these Thinlits, these Colorize. Now, I'm going to say this: Colorize is a love-hate relationship. I know people who love it, and I do it. I have a number of Colorize. I don't have a lot. It really just depends on the die. If you really like the die, then get it. If you don't, then don't. But for me, Colorize takes a little bit of work, and I'm okay with that. It's like puzzle making. It's like putting a puzzle together. And I'm okay with that. This is relaxing for me. So we just put our glue on it. I'm using the Distress Collage medium because it has a good adhesion rate. And then we're just gluing our pieces down just like that. And just press and hold, give it a second, and it will bond nicely. And got a little edge that keeps wanting to come up there, so we're just gonna press and hold that a second longer. And we're gonna wait. And this one's trying to be a little difficult, so we put a block on it and press down. Give it some good firm pressure. And just wait a second and wait for that collage medium to kick in. You can flip it over and push from the back side as well. So you don't want to rush this. Collage medium, it does dry quickly, so you don't want to rush. So there's that. I laid them out in order. If you watch the video, it shows you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why I have these pieces laid out in order like this. These are actually going on in the order that the video shows it. There's another little groove down there. If you're wondering, did I miss a piece? Well, there's a groove right there. So that tells you something goes there. Well, that's this piece right here. So if you just kind of look at what you've cut out, it will tell you how to put it together, okay? And then after that, when you don't have a groove, like when you get into these other layers, I'll show you in a minute, what you actually have is you just have a piece that looks like the piece beneath it. So it makes it kind of easy to know where it goes. So I'm just going to press and hold that. Give that a second. And we're just working our way through this. And so you see we've got the two different colors going there, so we're going to have this nice, pretty little rose. Now, while that little piece is drying, because I forgot, I've got to open up over here to the side. So I want to add a little bit of, I just want to add a little shading to this. So what I'm going to do is use my finger dauber and just pick up some of that hickory smoke, which is super light, and I'm just going to daub it around the sides, around the edges, just to take away that white from the paper. And this will help soften the whole thing. This will help make the whole thing kind of blend together, plus gives it a little bit of shading. Gotta be careful there because it is a nice tiny little piece. And one of the techniques I use is from the bottom, so you don't get it on top of the color that you want to use. You want to keep that pink on the spotlight. So just put a little bit on that one. So I just wanted to do that one just to show you. And we're going to go ahead and glue it on. So same way as before, just get a little collage medium and just put it on there. And then you'll notice when you pick it up, when you look at it, you'll notice that there's this piece that it matches. And there is actually a little bit of a groove there. So we're actually going to put that right there. And you can see where it lines up with the piece beneath it. So we're just adding dimension now. That's all we're doing. We're adding dimension to the thin lip. So you're going to press that down. There we go. And I can see a little bit of the white from where I'd forgotten to do those bottom layers, but that's okay. So we got that. We got some color. Got that going there. Next we have this tiny little guy right here. And let me see if we can figure out where he goes. And I'm going to say he goes. Yep, he goes right there. Yep. There's a little bit of a line right there. But also I just looked over at the picture and it showed me exactly where it went. So he goes right there. So we're going to pop him on. So keeping the picture handy, keeping it in front of you, keeping it close by, it does help as well. You can look and see what goes where. So we're going to pop him right there. And you can see we're already on the third section. See, this is 1, 2, and we're working, this is 3, and then we got 4 and 5. And so I watched the video and then I laid out the pieces so I would know. And that's how that goes. All right. So we got that. Now we're going to come over and we're going to grab these guys. Now there's a little bit of a groove there I can see. So guess what I know is going to go right there? This fella right here is going to fit right here. It's going to fit right like that. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing that we did a minute ago. We're going to grab us some, well, I don't know why I'm holding it with the tweezers. Going to grab our finger dauber and just cut down on some of that white. Now we're good to go. Now grab it with my tweezers again and put my glue on it. So there's a process, and when you start doing it, it does go faster. It does go faster. Once you get into the rhythm, and if you're making several of these, like we're going to make this one, then we're going to do this bottom one, we're going to do 2 of these. Once you get into the rhythm, it really does come together. So I'm already looking, and I can tell I'm not a huge fan of that hickory smoke, so I'm just going to quit doing that. If I wanted to do anything at this point, I would just grab some more pink, maybe a little darker shade of pink, and I would use that as for my shading. All right, so we got that piece, and then we got this tiny little guy right here. And I'll be honest with you, little things like this, you have a choice. All right. Now, for me, you can put it on or not, but it goes right here. All right, and there's a little line. You can see the line, so it goes right there. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on. But if you lose little pieces like this, if I lose them, I don't care, and you probably wouldn't even notice it. I mean, even after, and the people who receive the cards, if they look and see a line where, where normally this would have gone, all they're going to do is think that's like an embossing mark or something. So, I don't worry about that at all. All right, I guess I need to get the tweezers out of the way. There we go. And trying to get him to slide right into place. There we go. And now I'm going to press and hold. He's a tiny little guy, so we're just going to press, hold, and just hang on for a second. Doesn't take the collage medium long. So only got 2 more pieces to go. Just 2 more pieces to go. Alrighty, that's him. And now what we have are these guys here. So this, let's see what we've got here. See if we can figure out where they go. Okay, this one, and I'm looking at the picture. Uh-oh, he just went flying across the room. I have no idea where he went. Yep, there's no telling where he went. So, we're not worried about him. I was going to say, he goes, let me see, where did he go? There's one that goes up top here. And then there was another one. Oh, let's see, this guy down here. And this one here. I honestly don't know where he went, but I know where this one goes. Well, I say I know where this one goes. Let's grab it and not lose it. I'm looking at the picture and just trying to figure out where. So it looks like he goes there. So what it looks like to me, that's interesting, because this piece that I put down here, yep, I put him in the wrong place. This guy goes up here. This guy was supposed to go down here. So, but could you tell? I couldn't tell. The only reason I know is because I got this piece that doesn't really fit anywhere now. So we're done with this flower. That's it. We're done with that. That's just an extra piece. I'm going to set it off to the side. That's going to be that. And then what we're going to do, if I wanted to, I could probably add it along the bottom here just to give it a little something to stand out there. But I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, so now that part is done. So now what we need to do is there's a little part, this piece that goes in the middle here. So we start by grabbing it and see which one it is. Let's see. Yep, that piece tucks in there. And let's see, we've also got this piece. That doesn't go there. There it is. It goes, I think it goes like that. So now, I've actually got these pieces a little too close together because this is supposed to sit down inside there. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna make it fit. We're just gonna tuck it like that. And there's 3 pieces. This one goes here, and then we got a yellow one that goes on top. It's actually this one right here, which goes on top of it. So that gives us our color for our flower. But you don't even have to do that. You can actually go with you can go a totally different direction. And we'll do the next one a little bit different. First time I've ever put one of these together, so we're learning together. The pieces do fit very precise. So, like I say, what I've learned here is when I go put this on next time, well, I know which pieces I got in the wrong spot. But also, I know to make sure that I leave room for these smaller pieces to fit in the middle. So I'm just pressing that down until that catches nice and good. Get a good grip on that. And then what goes over that is this piece here. And you can see where that lines up. Clearly that lines up. And then we'll put a yellow one over the top of that. And it's just giving dimension and color. I'm not happy with the colors I chose. I was trying to get creative and it didn't work. So next time when I do this, I'll stick to the more basic colors that are recommended by the dye itself. We'll probably just stick with some more basic yellows and some simple browns instead of this. Tried to go with these off colors and it didn't work. It doesn't look good to me. So you put that, so that's good and dry. Got that there. Now the last thing we need to do is come up and we grab, as I mentioned, we grab one of these yellow pieces, and it's actually this one right here. Okay. And I don't want to lose this one. I don't want this one to go flying through the air. And it doesn't really, this one isn't meant to line up. It's meant to let some of that color shine through. So I'm just lining up the edge right here, this edge right here. So I think that's how I want that. So let me go ahead and put a little glue on this, and we'll put it down, and this rose will be done. Then we'll start working on the rest of the flower. And I'm just going to line up the edge. And that little bottom piece actually does fit right there. So I'm going to kind of tuck it down. Whoop. And then pull. So I got it where I want it. And I'm just going to press and hold. So what I've got here is when I put it together, and it's all right, but I definitely have it a little snugger in the middle. I can look and see the picture, and I can see where there's places where, you know, I needed to, obviously this piece should have gone up here, and that's okay without that dimension. And then the other piece would have gone down there. So we're good. It looks good. But there's that one, which again, it looks terrible. The colors don't work at all. So, you know, live and learn. But what we want to do now, oh, I just found the piece that went flying through the air. There it is. But we can't, there's nowhere, I don't know where it went. So I'm going to leave it right there for now. And we're going to do this again, but this time we're going to try and keep everything lined up the way that it's supposed to. So let me grab this. Let's make another one. And if you've seen enough, feel free to skip forward past this. We'll start working on the leaves and the stems and everything else in just a minute. But I am going to do one more, and we're going to try and do a little bit better job with this one, even if I don't like the colors. I will say that one of the options you have is you don't have to layer them in the order always that they showed you how to do it. So basically that little brown piece that wasn't quite fitting, we can actually go ahead and put it on now because we know right where it goes. So. All right, so there's that piece. And I'm just going to press down with my glue block or my stamp grid block there just to give a little that. And just to show you what I mean, we're going to go ahead and grab this and we're going to work around this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on. And it's going to go right there. And the other piece that's supposed to go right there, it's going to overlap it a little bit now, but I think that's just going to look better. That's just how I'm going to do it. That's how I'm going to do this one. All right, so we know how this goes, so we're going to go ahead and put some glue on this and put this piece on. I did forget that piece. We'll put it on in just a second. All right, now we're going to grab this piece, and we're going to put it on just like that. And what I did was I pulled, this piece is flexible, so I pulled it back to make sure I keep enough of that little green piece in there exposed. And then I'm just pressing everything down, just making sure the glue adheres nice and snug. Grab my grid block. Grab this piece, which goes right down there. Go ahead and put it on. Now we grab this guy. And we just start filling in pieces. And I just need to make sure now that I don't confuse which piece goes where. Okay. Yeah, I like that much better by putting that piece on first. And press and hold. Give ourselves a second there. All right. Now this guy, now let me make sure I don't make the same mistake I made a minute ago. This piece is going to go here. This piece is going to go, yep, that one goes right there. That one goes right there. Got a little too much collage medium there. Give that a second and let that dry. And collage medium will activate your inks, by the way. If you're using distress inks, that collage medium will activate it, just to give you a heads up, just so you know. All right, and then this little guy here, this is the one I put in the wrong, he goes up here. He goes up there. And again, some of these you don't even have to, you could leave them off. You can leave them off. The idea was to have more color variations when I did this, and it didn't work. So, like I say, I need a better supply of inks. Apparently, I'm missing quite a few. I've used up and haven't resupplied, so that would make that makes all the difference in the world too. Okay. Now we come over here and we grab this guy, which we now know goes down here. And we put him on. Well, that glue grabbed quick. And then all we have left is this little guy right here. So let me take a look and see if I can figure out where he goes. Got the piece there, I've got the piece there, this piece. Oh, he goes right there. Yep, he goes right there. So the picture will help you. The picture will help you. You're looking at pieces and you're going, I don't know what all this is. Just look at the picture. And like I say, when you go to put it on, you'll see, you see it clearly fits right on top of that piece of the flower there. So press that down. We're almost done with that. And we just got to put the two other middle pieces in. So we're going to come back and grab this guy now. And he goes over that, and he fits right in there because we put that other piece on first. That just popped right in there. Now you got just a little bit of that other color showing through. So he popped right in there. That was awesome. Then we come over here and we grab this guy and we're going to put it on. I think in hindsight, just because of the colors I'm using, I think actually black would have worked a lot better than this yellow. It just doesn't quite look right to me. And he goes right there. Take all of a second. And there we go. All right, so we've got our two flowers. Again, not the best coloring by any stretch of the imagination, but there you go. So now that I know I've got all these done, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out of the way. And then the next thing I do is I grab the pieces that go for the next part. I'm gonna push those up there. I'm gonna grab the next pieces and I'm gonna work on them. We've got those, and they attach to this guy right here. Okay, that's what this one is. This is the black one we did. So he's ready to go. This one was actually cut out using this one. So the only thing I need to do now is get these pieces that are going to go over the top. Okay, and we're going to start putting these leaves on top of this one, on top of here. And this is what threw me off. I keep thinking, like this is the bottom of the point, but it's actually not. It actually goes on that way. So if you get a little bit confused like I did, just look at what you're holding. There's a point there, which means the point goes there. So I have to turn that leaf around. When I was first laying these out, I was driving myself nuts because I could not figure out how in the world. There's all kinds of grooves in there. So I know I've got 2 pieces that are going to go on top of this one. I can see that very clearly. So let's put some glue on here. and he'll go on super easy. He fits on just right over the top, just like that. And we just line it up and just press and hold and let that glue grab. All right. And then we're going to grab this guy, because he's the one that goes right over the top. You can see it's a perfect fit. So we're going to go ahead and put him on. Trying to be light-handed with this Distress Collage. I love the fine tip applicator. So we're going to go ahead and put him on. I was going to do one of the other leaves first, but since I picked him up, we'll just go ahead and finish up this one leaf. Let's push him on. There we go. All right, so there's that leaf. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to grab. You can see these two go together. You can see that pretty clearly. So we're going to grab this guy, and he goes right on top of that leaf. If you ever put too much on, just use your finger and smooth it out. Collage medium is an absolute wonderful, 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 wonderful glue. All right, we're going to press that down. Got a little piece of something in the way there. And then we're going to put this one on top of him. Sometimes even, you can literally just put a drop here, and like a drop here, and then you can literally just take your finger and smooth it over the whole thing, and that's going to be enough glue. It's going to be enough glue. It might seem like you've wiped it off, but you actually haven't. Press and hold. All right, that leaf is done. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to grab this guy because he goes right there. Now putting this next one on might throw you off a little bit, but that's just how it's designed. And again, you can look at the pictures and see. There's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This one's only going to have 1 on it. This one, okay? And you see there's darker shades, but we went a very different route. But when you put this one on, see these kind of cover the whole outside. This one actually is going to leave an edge exposed. And so we're going to just do that. And when we put this one on, you'll see what I mean. He goes like that. Well, let me try that again. And press and hold. There we go. So it left that edge up there exposed. So I just need to hold that real good. Let that glue bond. Now, it's getting kind of flimsy. These leaves are putting a lot of weight on this black cardstock. What I will do next time is I would actually double this up. I would actually put the black on black and then start building my leaves up. And just to give it a little more security, because that's super, I mean, it's almost like you're holding a very fragile little leaf there. So, all right, so that's all that. Now we've got just this one last piece to put on for this one. So let's get some glue and pop him on, and that'll be done. There we go. Press and hold. I usually count to 3, 4, 5, something like that. Does not take long with collage medium. All right. Now I love this. I love the way the dark color there, the layers of the leaf. This one's a little bit, I didn't get it lined up right, but that's okay. But I love the spots. I don't know, I couldn't do it again if I tried. I have to go back and watch the video. But the way these leaves, and you have the darker parts underneath coming through, giving that dimension and shadow. But the way that just looks to me, that looks so much like a leaf. I mean, that just looks so much like actual leaves. So that one's actually done. And so we're going to pick it up carefully, and we're going to put it over here by one of the flowers. That one's done. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other one while I'm here, but we'll do that off camera, and then we'll work on the other flowers. But I'm going to go ahead and do the second one off camera. All right, so we got the second one done. So we've got two of these guys. They look great. Love that green, love that. So I did the second one. So now what we want to do is we want to work on these two guys right here. And again, and also, well, we also have these guys down here as well. So and these are the ones, and I cut these out of green. These are the ones that are going to take the yellows. But this is this one. We already did this one. These two are for here, and then these two are for that one right there. So we're going to work on this one next. And these are super easy. I mean, this one is a lot easier than the rose. The rose is a little more intricate. You saw the struggle we had there. These are super easy because you've got this nice round piece, and then you literally have 6 leaves, and you're going to have 6 bases and 6 toppers. The only real challenge is just, you just have to figure out which one goes where. So I'll kind of go by size, kind of look. This one has that little wonky edge to it, so I'm thinking, yep, that one goes right there. This one down here has a wonky top edge to it. I don't know if that's this one. Let's see if that's this one. Nope, that's too small, so it's not that one. So it's a little bit of trial and error here. You actually have to kind of figure out which one of these goes on which leaf. Okay, and that I think is the top of this one. These two go together. So I think these two go together. And then let's see. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and start. We're going to start, let's start gluing some pieces down, and we'll see what we got. And if all else fails, watch the video. Watch the video. It will show you each one. And now let's see. This one's going to go here. Yep, that one goes there. Let's just go ahead and put that one on because I know that's what that one is. All right, put a little glue in the back there and come down here and put it on. There we go. And this one goes over the top. You can actually see it's that one right there on the picture. I want to turn this. There we go. Couldn't get any glue to come out where I wanted it to. I'm going to pop that down and put it just like that. All right, there's that one. Now the next one, what I'm doing, this has a really deep groove. I'm thinking that's this top piece here. It is, in fact, that top piece right there. So we're going to go ahead and put that one on. Sometimes when you're putting it together, if you're not sure, I wouldn't try and find and line up each one perfect. If you got one, go ahead and put it on. And eventually you're going to come down to whatever's left, and you're going to know, well, I know where that one goes because it's the only one I have left. It's the only one I have left. I'm going to go ahead and say there's 6 of these, and there's 12 total pieces. You got 6 leaves, but don't be deceived by that. This one actually took 2, all right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one only going to have, this one's going to have, well, this one takes 2. That takes the 2 tiny pieces. So you've got 2 for each one. So when you're trying to lay it out, just remember that. You've got 6 leaves, and you got 12 toppers, okay? So, maybe that will help. All right, this guy, I'm looking for him, and that is, let's see, no, it's not that one. It's actually, I think it's this one. Yep, so we're gonna go ahead and put him on. So just when you're laying them out, just be aware of that. And the picture will help you. Just have that picture right there beside you. Again, love-hate relationship with these. I love these. I bought the first ones when they first came out, the Santa and the Snowman. I don't even remember what they're called. And I love the Santa. Love the Santa. And then he came out with another Santa and another Snowman. And then, of course, the Woodland Santa. I just bought that the other day. It was, somebody had it, I think scrapbook.com had it on clearance or on a special. And I finally bought him. I was so mad I didn't buy him, and he went out of stock at Sizzix and Hobby Lobby, and I couldn't find him. And I was like, oh, I wish I'd have bought him. And then the few places that had him, he was like $50. And then I started getting cheap again. And so the end result is we now have the Woodland Santa. He is now mine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do this, guys, since we're right here. And this one I need to adjust my, there we go. I had to adjust my tweezers a little bit. All right. But yeah, we've got the Woodland Santa, and we'll work on him, and I'll probably do a video of him. So I'm gonna put that piece right there. I'm gonna grab this little tiny guy here. He goes over the top. Like I say, just one leaf at a time. That's how I do it. It works, you know, that works for me. It's just easier to knock it out, to keep up with what I'm doing and not get too confused. And these are super easy. These are super easy. They lay right on top of each other. I mean, it's just, you really can't miss it. Like, you can see which one goes with which one. So let's pull this guy down here. Let's turn him. Yeah, he's going to go there. Let's see. Okay. So there's that. Let's turn these where I can see. All right, these two I know are going to go together. And this one has, there's a groove up top. That's going to be him. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be him. Yep, because it's the only one that's left. So, and when I look, this leaf right, it's actually this leaf right here has that really loose extra piece there. So, all right. So we're going to come down here. Let's go ahead and put this guy on. Pretty sure that's his spot. Yep, that is. Again, don't use my rose as a guide, because I'm looking at those two roses. Those are the ugliest. I don't even know if they're rose. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I say a rose, some sort of a, I don't know. It looks terrible. Absolutely horrible. So we'll go back and, I mean, I don't even like this one. This is like a weird brownish, it says pink, but this, I don't know. It just looks like it's dying. And then all of a sudden you got this pretty yellow. Honestly, I'll tell you what I would do with this particular dye. What I will wind up doing is I will make several of these, like 5 or 6 of these, and I'll use them all by themselves, or use them with a totally different flower. Same with these, same with these. You can sit and you can make bunches of these, bunches of these, and bunches of these. Bunches of them. And you can just have like you could have a basket full of leaves, and then whenever you need these leaves, you've got them. So, and I would eventually make baskets full of these flowers, but I've got to figure out a color scheme that works for me, because that is not doing it for me. Those are not doing it for me. All right, let's finish up. Sorry, I got distracted. All right, let's go ahead and finish this guy up. There we go. All right, now we're going to come around here, do these last 2 leaves here. And at this point, you can probably skip forward to the rest of the... Oh yeah, that one goes down there. All right, I was just looking. He did not fit there. He actually goes right there. All right, so that one goes there, which means, yep, that one goes there. Okay, so while I got him in my tweezers, let's go ahead and put him on. There we go. And now I know this one goes here because I can see it on the drawing. Plus, again, there are grooves there are little notches that you can see here, which tells me it has a long curve going around the outside, which tells me this is the one that goes here. Now, the other leaves, I love the way they came out. But this one, they're definitely blending a little bit more, so you're not seeing as much of the dimension. And I'll hold it up and show you what I mean, because the undercolors are similar to the top colors. You see the dimension when you turn it, but if you just look at it from a distance, what I would prefer to do next time is these much darker greens and go with a lighter green on the top. So, you know, but I still do like these leaves. And I do like the way that piece of paper came out. I will go back and watch the video and see what colors I used. And I think that's the one at the end. It was too light, and I sprayed the Rustic Wilderness on it, and that really made it. That really made a difference. All right, so there is that. All right, And that is the first one of those done. We're going to do the other one the same way. We'll go ahead and do that off camera. And then we'll come and we'll work on those. All right, let's do a quick review because I want to help you guys out when you're doing this. I want to make this easy. Once you do one, by the way, it really does make sense. When you cut out these leaves, all right, the important thing to remember is these, and even these, let me grab these. I'll grab both of these right here. There's the main frame layer, okay, the black or the brown, but each leaf has only two pieces. There's a base and a top, and a base and a top, with one exception. On these leaves, there's only, this guy's all by himself. So you're gonna have, you got 4 leaves, you're gonna have 7 pieces, 2, 4, 6, 7. There's a piece, and then this goes on top, a piece, that goes on top, this piece, this goes on top. This one's all by himself. When you do that one, so when you're laying out your pieces, that will help you with that. All right, this one, same way. 2 pieces, 2 pieces, 2, 2, 2, and even 2 on that tiny little guy right there. Sorry, I was out of camera. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You'll have 6 base pieces, 6 top pieces to go over that brown one, okay? So when you do that, it's just remember that. Now this, same way, 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got 5 leaves. Now here's what I need to do. Let me scoot. I'm gonna turn that just to keep that on camera because I need to make room here. And what I'm gonna do, because it'll be easier, is I'm gonna pick up and slide my little mat over here. So I want y'all to see this. And then we'll work off the mat. This amazing little guy, let's pull these up and let's put them here, because we got 2. We did 2 of each one. This little nightmare, okay? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves. These 2 little guys are gonna go right on him. No, actually they're gonna go on this little guy right here. So 2 little pieces. And then the next 2 smaller ones, they go right there. All right, this weird little double jumble thingy here. This guy here, that's that one. This guy here, that's that one. This guy here, that's this one, okay? So that's what's important. So there's 10 and 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the shadow there's a little confusing, but it really just those 2 pieces. So hope that helped, all right? But once you do it, it's really, I mean, it's really, really easy. Once you do it, it's almost, you know, you'll be surprised how easy it is. The bulk of this is just the time that it takes. So when I make a card like this, or if I'm using any of this stuff, like I said, I'll cut and put leaves together, especially these green guys back here. I will have a box full of these because I can use these on so many projects. Same with these too, even the green with the yellow. You can use those. I'll use those on so many different projects. Now, just sit and make and just enjoy it. And just take the time to relax and glue stuff together. And just pretend you're a kid again, because that's all you're doing. And then once you're all done, you know, when you go to make a card, you've got one ready. And I'll probably do enough of these to where I could have, if I wanted to sit down and make like 5 of these cards, I could do it. The whole card, just using this whole thing, because I'll have them all put together. Again, got to work on what I want to do with this guy, because that just, I mean, it is what it is. All right, so let's, I'm going to leave those there kind of in camera a little bit, and we're going to glue these together, and I'm going to try and stay on camera when I'm doing this. So what I need to do now, what I think I want to do is push these up out of the way. I don't want to lose those pieces, and I want to work down. I'm going to put these up above me. Now, when I'm crafting and I'm putting something together, you're like me. If you know you're reaching over something and you touch it, it's going to stick to your hand and you're going to lose it. So if I'd have left those down there while I was working with these, there's a good chance that, because if there's any moisture on your hand and you go to pick up and you lean on that, you just picked it up, okay? You just picked it up. So I try to keep all that stuff above me. So let's see, I've got a little glue here. Let's wipe that up. Let's get this out of the way. I got to clean my mat. So desperately got to clean my mat. So this piece is ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start, well, I'm going to start with the smallest pieces. I'm just going to start with the smallest pieces. Now, they go down on this leaf. You see it fits right there. I mean, I think what I'm going to do, you know what? I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to try and stay on camera for you guys. But you'll see it fits. It fits right there. All right, and then that piece just fits over this piece. So let's go ahead and put this piece on. I'm literally going to take one tiny little drop of glue. That's actually probably too much, so let me dab that. All right, and then you just line it up. Everything lines up. Everything lines up. So I've actually got that a little bit down with the green, but that's okay, because if you've ever seen a flower, you know how the buds kind of overlap. So I'm just squeezing it, just adjusting. Yep, so we got that where that one needs to be. There's that first one. Now we grab this little guy here, and he's just gonna go right over there, right over the top, okay? So just another just the tiniest little amount of glue. And we're gonna put him right there, boom, done. Let's pick him up where you can see it. You probably can't even see on camera, but there's actually two pieces. And all that did was give you a little bit of dimension. So bottom line is, you don't even have to put that top piece on if you don't want to, But I like the way it looks. So there's that one. So now we're gonna go with this guy here. And let's see how he fits. Just like, yep, just like that. Just like that. Okay, so let's get a little glue. And I made that harder than it needed to be. All right, now it's sticking, I got glue on my fingers. All right, so there we go. I thought maybe that was because my fingers were wet. Nope, there's just a little bit of glue. So we're gonna do that. And this one flush it to the top, not the bottom, because this gives you your bracket for your little bud piece there, okay? That's just the little, where the green kind of connects to the flower. So now that we've got that, I'm gonna grab this guy, and he goes, how does he go? I'm trying to see there he is. That's how he goes, just like that. So I'm looking for the indentation on the flower. All right, I find that. I'm gonna put just a drop. And then he goes right there. All right, now we'll go ahead and we'll move on up and we'll do this guy here. Let's see. Yep, he's gonna go right there. I feel like Tim, I got pork chop fingers, so I use tweezers a lot. But you could, you know, there would be no, if I tried to grab that with my fingers, and yeah, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. So just do what you got to do. All right, there we go. Try not to squeeze too hard here, but I need to see that there's glue on the paper. Otherwise, you know, we're going to have a mess. We're going to lose one of my, you know. All right. And then this guy goes, I got him lined up wrong. So I'm looking for the holes. Yep, he goes right over the top, just like that. Fits right on top of the one underneath him. And line that up a little bit better. Squeeze, a good tight squeeze, get that glue on there. He slid a little bit on me. Let me see, I can still move it. I got enough, all right, had enough time to move it. So let me squeeze gently and wait just a second, because it's trying to move on me. And there we go. Now, again, we inked these, so the color's the same. I didn't get the shades of yellow that I wanted, but normally what you would have, you have that nice opening there, and so what you would have is that darker yellow coming through, and that just helps give you your texture and your dimension. So next time, again, just use regular yellow cardstock, different shades, working from dark to light. Same way with with everything, with all of it. Or you can do this, just make sure you have more color variation in the pieces that you're using. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and put this guy on. He's the bottom flower down here. Let's go ahead and get him put on. Ooh, that was a lot of glue. That was way too much glue. Go off camera and wipe some of that off. There we go. And this guy fits right there. Boom. And so I've got two little spots there, two little grooves, which lets me know that that's where they goes. Plus it only lines up one way. All right, only lines up one way. And then we're just going to pop that down over the top of him. There we go. And we got one more to do. This guy here. And he's going to go, and if I turn, and if you ever get lost, just turn and look at your picture. So I can see, and actually it's funny how it's almost to scale. So I can tell he's going to go on just like that. I don't know if it's supposed to be to scale or not, but that actually was perfect. I bet that is. I bet that's one of the ways it helps you put these together, is you can always look and see. All right, so let's put that on. And there we go. I thought we got a little panic for a second there. All right. And again, there's just, it fits the way it fits, right over the top. It lines up. The only difference between this piece and this piece is you got these little cutouts. And sometimes they'll be a little shorter. It just depends on the look that they're going for. So, yep. In fact, on this one, you can see when I put it on, the bottom. There's a little bit of a bottom that's left off there. So there is that. And I'm gonna pick that up, and that was it. That one's done. So it looks like a nightmare, but it's not. And I really like that. Again, I gotta figure out how I made those greens, because that's just that background. I will spend a day doing backgrounds to try and duplicate that. And if I can get it figured out, man, I love that green. I love the way that looks. So that one is done. So we're gonna go ahead and do a second one and do it the same way. And I'll do that one off camera, because again, just trying to keep these videos short. So just go back and watch what we did there. We didn't make any mistakes. It's the same. So if you want to see it again, you don't have to watch me do a second one. Just go back and watch me do this one again, but it's the exact same way. So we're going to go ahead and put the second one together, and then we'll all be done. Be all done with this Colorize. All right, let's take a look at our finished product, if you will. All right, so as I said, we did two of each one. I'm just going to push these off to the side. All right, so they're over there. What you actually have is this really nice little flat, and you can put it together any way you want to do it. Well, let's do it the way it's done on the drawing there. We'll kind of got that coming up out of the top like that, and then you got this piece coming up out of the bottom over here, kind of like that. And you got these coming out of the bottom down here like that. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna layer that. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. And there you have it. So you can put it together like that. You can put it together any way you want to. Okay? Any way you want to. Any way you want to. And there you go. And like I said, that greenery, so usable. So I hope that helped you guys. I know it takes a while. I've acquired a few more of these since they've become available. I will say, when they came out with the new minis with the animals, I was like, yeah, I had to bite the bullet on that, because those were just too adorable. And there's a little work involved with those, but they're so much fun. So much fun. I've got so many ideas for them. So there you go, guys. There's what you're looking at. That's what you come up with. Horrible, great idea. Use the technique I showed you to make the background. Horrible choice of colors. I do not like that at all. The yellow matches the yellow there, but it doesn't even, in the picture, it's even more of a brownish yellow. But that we just need some work. It desperately needs work. And it's not bad. It's just, maybe it looks better on camera. I don't know, worse in person. I don't know how to say it. But anyways, I would do something very different next time. And you could do blue. You could do like shades of blue. Do this all blue. And then I really think this would look really good if that was like a brownish with a black. If that yellow was in black, just kind of like looked like it had those little black seeds or whatever in a flower. So there's all kinds of ways you can do it, and I'll experiment with that, and I may throw out another video for you. But I hope this helps you with the kit this month. I've got those done. I've got to start getting busy now because I am going to make some cards with the kit. We're going to do some different, we're going to do some coloring. We're going to have so much fun with that. But I hope this helps you out with the Bloom Colorize and any of your other Colorizes. Just know that they really do. And if you look at this, I was talking about whether or not that's to scale. I can't get over that. I didn't know that that was to scale. So that will help you in finding, and when you're looking at that picture and you're putting it together, I mean, I didn't know that. So that's a bonus. Anyways, Tim may have mentioned that and I never remembered it, but there you go. So I hope that helps, guys. As always, I'll shut up for now. As always, Pastor Ian, the Krabby Crafter here, saying until next time, happy Krabby crafting. God bless.